Just a short update on the Acclaim Clo. Got the engine out. Engine bay is pretty much stripped. Trying to get as many pictures as I could. Still got to address some rust over here. The battery box section, this was all gone. Had to re-weld that. The battery tray itself had to rebuild. That's at the powder coaters right now. Got the headlight adjusters out. Got to work around that. Wiring harness, got some of these labeled so I know where they go. But all of this should blast real easy and quick. Just got to be careful with the CV axles and the steering rack. I may unbolt that, not sure yet, or just work around it. Wiring harness. I'm not sure if I want to tackle around it or push it through the hole. It's a bit tight of a fit. We'll work on that later. There's a number here. This must be the body number because that does not look like a VIN number. The VIN number is actually on the body here. SAXX. There's like a piece of tape on it, which is kind of cool. Matches, obviously, my VIN number over there. I got a little bit of welding to do. I gotta repair this little guy here. Maybe change that nut. This is a little tweaked here, so I need to hammer that straight and get this corner, because this corner's been hit. So I just gotta finesse that back into place. This side's fine. The little piece right here needs to be, actually that side was fine. This side right here, I think this piece needs to be rebuilt, which is actually this little guy, maybe the edge for this one. I can probably live with that. This corner has got to be rebuilt. I got to bolt it back on. Radiator's fine. Had it checked, clean checked, so the radiator's in good shape. Got a new fan switch. I'll probably test the switch. Kind of wish the switch was on the hot side, not the cold side. So anyway, I got another switch. Got some urethane undercoating that's tintable, so that'll be silver. So once this is blasted, I'll probably just dust this with a blaster to get the crap off of it. The undercoating should, the sandblaster should just bounce off of this and just get the dirt off. A couple little spots here to do. Once this is dusted with the sandblaster, I'll hit it with the urethane undercoating. Obviously I gotta touch that up. Two small little pinholes in the door. But here's the engine. Excuse the mess, a lot of stuff going on in the shop. Still got to clean up the alternator. It was still working. An actual Denso. Wiring harness is attached to that, so I still need to drop the pan. I'll probably do that later. It's not leaking, but I'm afraid that there's sludge in the bottom of the pan. The last couple cars that have been sitting and it's old, it probably has some old sludge in the bottom, so I probably need to clean it out because the oil that's in it is only, I mean, it's a year old now, but it's only got about 30 miles and maybe 20 hours, not many hours, because it's just driving to and from the port and just running, once a month for 20 minutes. This is the original intake, and you can see it was leaking. This heater port was cracked where the seam is, and I had a spare intake with the car, so I just actually welded that one up. It wasn't cracked, but I could see the seam, so welded that up, cleaned that intake up, cleaned up the engine brackets and the, come on, focus. and the transmission. So I just hit it with a wire brush. Clean everything by hand pretty much with a wire brush. Clean the plastic up. I cleaned up pretty good. Scotch-Brite. Carburetors look good. Intake looks good. All the rubber hoses look good. Brackets all nice and clean and painted. Still got to put some thermostat in there and some seals. There's some seals for the carburetor. There's some seals on the intake runners here. These little guys. So I've got some new ones coming in before I button all that up. Distributor just cleaned. I got a new water pump and timing belt installed. I hopefully got it timed right. Heater pipe. That was a real pain. It's an NOS Honda part, so that's good. Anodized. But the O-ring down here was way too big. I had to carefully kind of file it down, keeping it round and jam it in there. So hopefully that won't leak. I got some exhaust gaskets I have to make, so I've got some material coming. So I have to make exhaust gaskets. Intake gaskets I found. They should be here with the thermostat and the seals. I got a new starter coming too. The other one just clicks off and on. Got some exhaust pieces here. I think that's reverse vent. But that all looks good. Carburetors turned out pretty good. Solenoid. I should probably test the solenoid. I'll probably do that later. But these are numbered, which is kind of cool. The vacuum lines are numbered. So hopefully next week. I even have a new paint booth coming. Inflatable paint booth. Got some more sand. So I'm probably just going to blast the whole front end, except the outside, of course. One of these has been clear coated. I think it's the other side, so I got to work on that. Get the clear coat off. Get this all primed and epoxy. Got that shot. And then I'm actually going to work on the hood too. The hood actually, it's not a seam sealer, but it's a bond. Let me just show you. Look at that pretty engine. So the inner structure is come unglued. So it's not really, I guess the metal has shrunk over time. I can't tell. I don't think this is stretched. But these are all unglued. And the headliners are the same. The problem is if I try to block sand the hood, it's just going to warp. So I'm going to order some panel bond and actually panel bond this back. I'm going to panel bond. See, this one's actually still good. That one's still bonded. But these aren't. So I'm going to panel bond. See, that's come off completely. Panel bond that back together before I paint it. I need to hit these with sandblaster. And then hopefully the guys in England will have some decals for me. I may tape that off. I don't know. We'll see. There's a Unipart part. I need to get some pictures of these. But same thing for the headliner. The headliner supports need to be glued in and welded on the ends. And I think the trunk even needs panel bond too. So these are just little dots. I'm gonna have to get in there with a little die grinder, get that off, and then glue it back. So anyway, it's just more money in parts than a gun. I don't have a panel bond gun, but I guess I gotta order one. So anyway, here's my engine. Looking pretty good. Engine number EN4. So that's my engine.